Denny Laine, whose real name was Brian Frederick Arthur Hines, was a British singer-songwriter and musician who co-founded two influential rock bands, the Moody Blues and Wings. He played with the Moody Blues from 1964 to 1966 and with Wings from 1971 to 1981. He also collaborated with many other artists and groups in his long career and continued to make music as a solo artist. He was born on October 29, 1944 and died on December 5, 2023. He was honored with a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2018 as a member of the Moody Blues. He won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Instrumental Performance in 1980 for the song Rockestra Theme, which he co-wrote and performed with Paul McCartney and other musicians. He was recognized as one of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time by Rolling Stone magazine in 2011, ranking at number 64. He was praised for his distinctive style and tone and his ability to play multiple instruments. He was also nominated for the same honor as a member of Wings in 2013 but did not get inducted. He was honored with a star on the Birmingham Walk of Stars in 2016, along with other members of the Moody Blues for their influence on the music scene of Birmingham and beyond. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018 as a member of the Moody Blues. He was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Birmingham Music Awards in 2019 for his outstanding achievements in the music industry. About his net worth and assets. Laine owned several houses and cars throughout his life. Some of them are a farmhouse in Mull of Kintyre, Scotland, which he bought with Paul McCartney in 1969. The two friends lived there with their families and wrote songs together, including the hit Mull of Kintyre. Laine sold his share of the property to McCartney in 1980. A mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles, which he bought in 1978 for $4.5 million. The house had 10 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a swimming pool, a tennis court, and a recording studio. Laine lived there with his then-wife Jo Laine and their children. However, he lost the house in 1985 after a divorce settlement and a tax dispute with the IRS. A cottage in Sussex, England, which he bought in 1986 for $250,000. The cottage was a former home of poet William Blake and had a lot of historical and artistic value. Laine renovated the cottage and turned it into a museum and a recording studio. He also hosted concerts and events there. However, he was forced to sell the cottage in 1992 after another tax dispute with the British authorities. About his cars. A Ferrari 365 GTB for Daytona. A Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Early life of Denny Laine. Denny Laine was born on October 29, 1944 in Birmingham, England, to Herbert and Eva Hines. He went to Yardley's Grammar School. He learned to play the guitar as a young boy, influenced by the jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt. He started his professional music career as the leader of Denny Laine and the Diplomats, a band that featured Bev Bevan, who later became the drummer for the Move and Electric Light Orchestra. He changed his name from Brian Hines to Denny Laine because he thought it sounded better and more catchy. He also liked the singer Frankie Laine, who was his sister's favorite. He got the nickname Denny from his friends who used to hang out with him in their backyard dens. Personal life of Denny Laine. Denny Laine had a short marriage with Jo Laine, who gave birth to a son and a daughter for him. He also fathered 3 more children with different partners. He did not reveal their names. He tied the knot with Elizabeth Melee in July 2023 and shared the news on his Facebook page. They lived in Florida. He had a daughter named Luciane with his girlfriend Luciane Grant, a son named Damien with his girlfriend Helen, and a son named Ainsley Adams with his girlfriend Ainsley Lane Adams. He did not reveal much about his relationships with these women, and he was not very involved in his children's lives. Denny Laine moved to the United States from London in the 1990s. He lived in New York City with his partner Elizabeth, who was also a musician. They performed together and recorded some songs. About his professional career. Denny Laine started his career as a professional musician in the late 1950s when he formed Denny Laine and the Diplomats, a band that included Bev Bevan, who later became the drummer for the Move and Electric Light Orchestra. He changed his name from Brian Hines to Denny Laine, inspired by the singer Frankie Laine, who was his sister's idol. He also got the nickname Denny from his friends who used to hang out with him in their backyard dens. In 1964, Denny Laine left the Diplomats and joined the Moody Blues, a new band formed by Ray Thomas and Mike Pinder. He sang the lead vocal on the group's first big hit, Go Now, which reached #1 in the UK and #10 in the US. He also wrote and sang other songs such as I Don't Want to Go On Without You, From the Bottom of My Heart, I Love You, and Every Day. He played guitar, bass, harmonica, and keyboards for the band. He left the Moody Blues in 1966 after the release of their second album, The Magnificent Moodies. He was unhappy with the direction of the band and wanted to pursue his musical vision. After leaving the Moody Blues, Denny Laine formed the Electric String Band, a psychedelic rock group that featured a string quartet. He also joined Ginger Baker's Air Force, a jazz rock fusion band that included Ginger Baker, Steve Winwood, and Graham Bond. He released his first solo album, Laine, in 1970. He also worked with other artists such as the Hollies, The Pretty Things, and Trevor Burton. In 1971, Denny Laine received a call from Paul McCartney, who invited him to join his new band, Wings. Laine accepted the offer and became McCartney's main collaborator and co-writer for the next decade. He played guitar, bass, keyboards, and vocals for Wings and also contributed to the songwriting. He sang lead vocal on some of the band's songs, such as No Words, Time to Hide, Again and Again and Again, and Deliver Your Children. He also co-wrote and performed on the song Rockestra Theme, which won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Instrumental Performance in 1980. He was the only member of Wings, apart from McCartney and his wife Linda, who stayed with the band until its dissolution in 1981. After Wings, Denny Laine continued his solo career and released several albums such as Japanese Tears, Hometown Girls, and Anyone Can Fly. He also formed the Denny Laine Band, which toured and recorded throughout the 1980s and 1990s. He collaborated with other artists such as Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, Eric Clapton, and the world classic rockers. He also performed with the Moody Blues on several occasions, such as their 25th anniversary concert in 1989 and their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018. Illness and death. Denny Laine's health problems started when he contracted COVID-19 in March 2022. He recovered within 5 days, but he developed complications later, such as a bacterial infection in his blood and a collapsed lung, which required surgery to insert a chest tube. He was in and out of the hospital for several months, and he had to cancel or postpone some of his concerts. He did not have health insurance, and he faced mounting medical bills. His wife, Elizabeth Hines, started a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for his medical care and recovery. Denny Laine died on December 5, 2023, at the age of 79, his wife announced on social media. Rest in peace, Denny, you surely will be missed. Thank you for watching. For more content like this, subscribe and click on the bell notification.